The snapping grid in the background of the form design view helps keep your elements aligned, but it can sometimes be difficult to get everything in exactly the right position. There are a couple of tools available on the Arrange tab that can help us out in that regard. Let's take a look by continuing to refine our employee directory form. I'll go ahead and switch its view to Design View. Then up here on the ribbon, I'll flip over to the Arrange tab. Now most of these options are going to be grayed out, and they have very specific use cases in which they'll be enabled. For now, let's go ahead and just focus over here on the far right side in the Sizing and Ordering section. First, in the Size and Space menu, we have some options down here at the bottom to adjust our grid. We can turn the grid on or off by selecting that option here if we don't want to see those dots in the background. I can also turn off the rulers that appear on the top and left side of my screen. I can remove those if I don't want to see those as well. I can also turn off the Snap to Grid option. Let me go ahead and turn these grids and rulers back on for a second. And you'll notice that as I drag an element around, it snaps to the grid positions. I can move it over 3 dots, or I can move it back 3 dots, and it goes into the exact same position where we started. If I go under Size and Space and turn off Snap to Grid, now it doesn't lock it to the grid anymore, and I can move it in very small increments if I wanted to, and it's difficult to put it exactly right back where it started. Let's go ahead and turn that back on. Underneath the Size and Space menu, I also have options to adjust the size or spacing of multiple objects. So let's see how that works. First, I'm going to go over here and select this building option. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter for a second. Now, if I want to make all of these fields the same width as building, what I can do is select all of them at the same time, and then come over here to Size and Space and choose from these size options. We have the option to make everything the same height as the tallest object by selecting 2 tallest, or the same height as the shortest object by choosing 2 shortest. In this case, I want to make everything the same width by choosing 2 narrowest. It'll make everything the same width as the building field here. If I deselect it and then reselect it to make it wider again, I can select all of these and choose Size and Space to widest to make them all the same width again. I can also go in here and choose from some spacing options. For instance, I can increase or decrease the vertical space by choosing these options down here. I can choose Increase Vertical, and you'll notice that it increases the spacing between all of my elements, and it makes everything nice and even. In addition to the Size and Space menu option here, I have one called Align. This will help me align all of my objects together. Let's go ahead and take this building label and move it over here to the right-hand side, so that's aligned a little bit more closely to the text box that it's associated with. Now I want to make the same change to all these other labels, department, status, and hire date. What I can do is just select all of these objects at the same time and choose over here from the Align menu to Right. That'll make them all align against this right edge over here. Next, I'm going to go over here to the Format tab and make the text inside of the text box right aligned as well. If I switch my view from the Home tab to the Form view, we can see that change here. Finally, if we have lots of elements on our page, we might need to pay attention to the stacking order of the elements. Let's go back into Design View here, and I'm going to select this Employee ID field. And on the Format tab, I'm going to make sure that it has a transparent background by going into Shape Fill and choosing Transparent. Next, I'm going to move it on top of my photo. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that change. I'll go into the Home tab and change my view here. Now you notice that my photo is on top of the text, but what I wanted is maybe to have the text laying on top of the photo. Let's go back into Design View. I'll go ahead and select that box here. I'll go into the Arrange tab, and I'll choose Bring to Front. That'll move it to the front of the stacking order so that the photo draws below the text over here. Let's go back to the Home tab and change our view once again. Now we can see the employee ID number is drawing on top of the photo, and I can scroll through to see that change. Let's go back into Design View and move it back. If you're anything like me, you'll find yourself obsessing over the pixel-perfect placement of your form elements. When things are aligned perfectly, your forms and reports look cleaner, are easier to use, and look more professional. Make sure that you're taking full advantage of the sizing, spacing, and alignment tools on the Arrange tab to ensure that everything is exactly where it should be.